set up like a peep show. She had finished shooting that morning, and they brought her out on stage. The stage was used most of the time for a game show that was taped there. The game show is still on today. I can't watch it knowing what happened down her there. They brought her out, and in front of 4 rows of this theater were filled with guys who were already rubbing themselves. The girl was wearing a bikini. The show took place around a beach, so they could make the girls wear next to nothing. They had her walk around under the lights. The lights were focused on her, so she couldn't really see out in the audience. She was squinting. It must have been blinding for her. They had her walk back and forth, and then they had her start dancing. All these guys were doing what another star at the same studio got busted for. This went on for about 20 minutes. Then 3 guys took her to a different area of the studio. Then the actress said she didn't see what happened, but about 45 minutes later, one of those guys came running out and needed a set medic. Apparently, they had inserted something inside the girl, and things were bad. The medic came, and the ambulance came. The parents of the girl were told some crap story. That crap story ended up killing the girl because the parents believed the executives. 2 weeks later, the show finished shooting 6 episodes all at once, and then everyone was sent on their way forever. No one wanted the kids around or any witnesses to know what happened. So,
that was Wheel of Fortune, wasn't it?
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't say it.
Say, Jack. Pat me off.
I mean, I just can't imagine this shit really happening. Like, apparently there's this big studio with rows of seats and a game show stage, and there's 4 rows of guys all stroking themselves to...
That's what it sounds like.
...a girl who's 12 that comes out, and she's dancing around, and they're all stroking. Like, this sounds...
She can't see them because the light's blinding her. She can't see the audience.
I mean, that makes sense, but, like...
Yeah.
Was the 80s that wild that people were getting away with shit like this
and
for
she
real?
Just showed up. What, she showed up dead?
And she did. She did die.
So
apparently.
like so they did something to her, and then they're like, oh well, she died. They
sodomized her is the idea.
Oh,
so there's
she died.
Yes. So
there's like the scene in the movie Taken at the end, whenever his daughter's in the middle of the glass booth, and all the wealthy Saudis and people are in their little booths bidding on her.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all in there like, you know, being really mysterious with their billions of dollars.
There is 4 bulletins here that I want to read that might just be kind of like fast, like facts. So Heather was acting in the 80s, and she was not yet a tween, had hit films and television appearances. A lawyer, it's like an ENT lawyer, claims this girl was first molested at 5 or 6. Heather was discovered by Steven Spielberg and had her first acting role at the age of 5 in a show called Fantasy Island. So this matches. The exact television show set that these events occurred on cannot be verified 100%, but the clues seem to lead to Rocky Road, as it was filmed in the same studio as Jeopardy, which is still running today, and Pee Wee Herman, who is alluded to for being busted masturbating in a theater. This matches, or at least makes sense. A medic needed to be called because something had been inserted into the girl, which ended up eventually killing her. This could match, as Heather died of bowel problems.
What the hell?
So,
Pee Wee Herman, I forget his real name right now, but he got busted for a lot of sexual stuff anyways.
Yeah. It was never with kids, though.
Paul Rubin.
But it was always like public masturbation or at a porn theater.
Yeah, he had a lot of shit in his house. Not necessarily child stuff, but a lot of paraphernalia.
What was the movie I said that this Heather girl was in?
Poltergeist?
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Well, he did have child pornography in his house.
Oh, well, fuck.
Going to the locker, Lion. What do we do, couch? We kill children.
It's chili time.
It's messed up.
Okay, so there's also some interesting stuff that has to do with Seth Green. Have you guys kind of seen his Instagram? So there's a guy named Isaac Cappy. He's a Hollywood actor, and he did a few videos, and he dropped a bunch of names that ended up being like Hollywood's biggest pedophiles. Some came true, some haven't yet. And he's claimed that Seth Green has a child rape room in his home, hidden behind a bookshelf. What? And that Seth Green personally invited Isaac to join the next level of the club, and all Isaac had to do was rape kids. In return, Isaac would get $250,000 a year and any car he wanted. So if you go and click on Instagram and check out Isaac Cappy or Seth Green and check out their Instagrams, you can kind of see where, they are mostly hugging men. So this would conclude that he could be most likely homosexual.
Is there something wrong with that?
Yeah, I don't think that means he's gay.
I mean, we all get pictures together. I mean, look at all. I could snap a picture right here of all four of us on the same screen.
Chicken. He has a pass.
So, let's
He's
see.
a comedian.
Yeah, I just thought this was really interesting. There was some. Okay, so Mike Meyer, the actress manager and lawyer, said Heather didn't suffer chronic digestive problems, and the bowel narrowing wasn't discovered until she underwent surgery and died on the operating table after suffering cardiac arrest en route to the hospital. Hollander speculated that Heather's bowel narrowing might not have been congenital but could have developed suddenly due to inflammation. However, bowel narrowing could cause sudden death after years of symptoms.
So is that Mike Myers like Shrek? Now say it like Shrek.
Donkey! You got the bowel problem.
Get in my swamp.
Oh, swamp being the butthole?
Mm-hmm. I'll do the other Mike Myers.
Which one?
I'm sure they were also doing that.
The serial killer, Mike Myers.
Laura.
So this kind of gets kind of gross. So
is that says, Star Wars?
I guess. Fate of fuel. Duel of the Fates.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
So it says, however, as the intestinal muscle upstream of the narrowing is strained by trying to push material through the narrowing, there may be more and more widening of the bowel tissue, so it becomes infested with bacteria and eventually perforates or bursts. When intestinal narrowing is obvious, the defect is corrected by surgically removing the narrow section and connecting the normal sections on both sides. So Hyman said that congenital narrowing of the small intestine occurs in roughly 1 of every 50,000 live births. And while such narrowing of large intestines is about 10 times more rare. So he says, I cannot understand what precipitated the death, because it's usually clear when they're born they have an important disease. So he said it just doesn't seem quite make sense. It's weird. She was completely healthy Saturday. They thought she had the flu on Sunday, and she was dead on Monday.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
There's a cover up there. Your daughter doesn't show up with oh, my ass has been reamed, and then
Did you say butthole reamed?
I don't know how to compare it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Someone fit a bowling pin in my butthole. How could this have happened?
I've seen that video.
Well, I'm just saying.
The pink sock video?
Yeah, but you freaking... The doctor...
I've seen the dragon. They just shove it.
Yeah, but the director of your 12-year-old daughter says this happened, and you're like, I don't know how it happened, man, but I don't know.
It's like, yeah, he did it.
It's like, bro.
Obvious.
So the parents got paid off, too, to be like, well, this is completely surprising.
Yeah.
Stand by that shelf over there. I'm going to hide behind this fern. I'm going to whack it off till you come. And then you're going to lick it off the floor. And then I'll put you in some movie.
Some movie. You know, in Poltergeist, they did have that scene where the closet sucked the little girl in and the door closed really quickly.
That was just Steven Spielberg dressed as a closet.
Just sucking her.
I'm trying to find the... I thought I had the details. I'm kind of the
fact that there's no police report or anything. It's just like,
yeah,
wow.
There should have been something. Then again, this was a different time, different
The
day.
80s, apparently.
Like, people were more trusting and willing back in that. That's before people locked their cars and they left their doors open.
I mean, John Bonet went missing. Nobody found her.
I don't know if it's different times as much as it was just like quid pro quo back then. It's just like,
that
you know
too.
this is happening.
It was easier to hide it
than
it is now.
You want to be rich?
Yeah, less social
Give
media.
Me your daughter.
That's what Michael Jackson did with several of those kids. The parents parents hoard off the kids for like favors and stuff.
Yeah, like that one where they took them to Hawaii. Like the mom, was like starstruck that like my son gets to sleep with Michael.
Oh fuck
Did you
that,
watch
man!
The HBO documentary?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ!
I believe it happened.
I believe it happened too, especially when they were talking about he didn't actually touch the children. He just had them pull down their pants and like spread their ass cheeks so he could jerk off or some shit.
You
like,
can eat this.
Fuck?
Just spread his asshole wide open.
It's like that is not good.
He was a genius about it though. He had Macaulay Culkin as his canary in a coal mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like he never touched him so that he had an alibi.
True.
Yep.
Oh wow, I'm seeing here where she was born to be sacrificed.
Well,
you were made for Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
He has yet to make Schindler's List. You must be sacrificed for their success. I will find you. I will kill you.
Is that the same movie?
Same actor. Except he said to the Jews. No, to the Nazis. So I brought Schindler's List. Happy birthday, Adolf Hitler.
Oh,
yeah. Hitler was born on a 420.
Well, wait a second. I don't want to. I don't want that. I can say I'm not. I can say I'm not religious, but I don't really want to like say, "Hey, yay for Adolf Hitler."
Yeah,
I was just
happy
joking.
Birthday. Happy
It's all in irony. It's ironic.
Happy birthday.
Is that the Shoney's thing?
Yeah, I think so.
That's just the joke.
Just like,
Hitler had good policy, but poor execution.
What?
He had a lot of executions.
Maybe Heather Rourke did have health problems, and maybe she wasn't sodomized. Let's hope that she wasn't sodomized. But It was the 80s, and it was a wild time, and I'm sure being a child actress in that time was fucking terrible.
It's probably still difficult to this day.
Yeah, that I'm sure. I mean,
right.
any sort of position you're put in where you're like overpowered by someone of authority or someone that makes decisions for you, where it affects your money and your your responsibility and stuff. Yeah,
like all the families that meet Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just think about those kids.
I mean, I bet some families are. I bet people get convinced into like like the Michael Jackson case. Michael convinced the kid to convince the mom that it was okay for the kid to hang out with Michael alone. And then the kid, like Michael buys the parents nice things and goes and hangs out with the parents like as a whole family, and lets his guard down, and the parents let their guards down, and you begin to bond and trust this person, and then pretty soon your kid's sleeping in bed with Michael, getting his fucking dick diddled. I mean, it happens before you know it. I mean, he's getting his butthole rubbed and stuff. Like, I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but I mean,
that sounds pretty bad
to me, man.
If you had to do stuff to Michael, that'd be bad. But if
put my butt in your fanny.
Yeah, with the Michael Jackson thing, he would intentionally make the parents 2 or 3 hotel rooms away from his and have their kid come stay with him.
Yeah.
There's a whole mess with that. It was just,
He looked like shit at the end. Also, his fucking face.
Have you seen Janet Jackson? She looks identical.
Turn into a skeleton.
I can see similar features.
She got her nose all skinny and everything, just like him.
But she was black still.
But she's white. Her skin's white. But I mean, yeah.
As bad as Sammy Sosa.
Randy Jackson's still better.
Sammy Sosa.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows Corey Feldman, right? Like the kid by Stand By Me and the Goonies.